what's up? Hello, if you are new here, my name is Kayla and you're watching Kayla's Bookish Vibes. And today is going to be a weekly reading vlog. We're going to be reading 2 books in today's video. And I think they're going to be horror, which if you know anything about me and my reading taste, you know I don't technically read a lot of horror. And I've already started reading one of the books, but we'll get into that in just a bit. So we're going to be reading 2 books this week. We'll also probably like get into some other bookish things, whatever we get into. You guys know how these weekly vlogs work. I kind of just pick up the camera when we're doing something bookish. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on and do an intro for this vlog, and I guess let you guys know about the books that I'm reading. Okay, so disregard the background. I have not unpacked, as you can see, boxes upon boxes. I don't know when I'll unpack. I'm just not in a rush to do so. And if you know why, okay? The books are not out of their boxes. Like, they're all still packed away in totes. My shelves are up, but there's nothing on them. And I don't know when I will unpack the books. I guess you'll just have to see. Probably will not be in this vlog, I'll tell you that. But the first book I want to talk about, I took the dust jacket off. It's called There's No Way I Die First. I forgot that this book was actually sent to me by the author, and she signed it. This is a signed copy. Miss Lisa Springer signed this book for me. So I forgot that she sent this to me, which is so exciting. She watches my channel. So hey, Miss Lisa, if you're watching, how you doing? Y'all, I'm about, I would say that's like 30% through this book, and I kept saying, Kayla, stop reading the book. You're gonna want to read it with the vlog. You're going to want to get your reactions to these scenes on the vlog, and I just couldn't stop reading it. I was reading it in my bed, and that's how I've been reading that book, is at nighttime, like in bed at the end of the day with my husband while he's like watching basketball or football or whatever. I'm reading this book. It's YA and it is horror. And I don't read a lot of horror, and I think because I'm not familiar with the genre of horror, and because I chose YA thinking that it would be like a nice soft entry into horror, I wasn't expecting some of the stuff that's happening in this book to actually happen. So my jaw has been on the floor. It's very dramatic. There are some crazy scenes going on at this 30% mark. Some things I just have to reread because I'm like, did I read that right? Is what I think happening, is that what's actually happening in this book? Is this YA? It is YA, and you can definitely tell it's YA because all of the characters are very YA. They are making very YA decisions. What's going on in their lives as very young adult. They are high schoolers, but these high schoolers are like rich. Okay, they all go to like a very rich private school. All of their families have like very rich, and when I say rich, I don't just mean like, I mean money. Okay, and so she's thrown this very elitist Halloween party because she's into horror, and she wants to start a horror podcast. So she thinks if she invites these people, I'm holding this book up like you can see the cover, so sorry. She invites these people to her party, but specifically these people because she wants to get her follower count up. Now you guys know how I feel about social media and books and how I feel about reading them, but I think because this is YA and it's following a bunch of high schoolers, I feel like I'm reading a book about Gen Z, so I'm detached from it because I am not Gen Z. I am a millennial. Obviously not the target audience for this book. I'm just enjoying it, you know? So I'm able to like detach myself from everything that they've got going on, that like their lingo and all that stuff, because I'm not Gen Z. I feel like if it were not YA and it was like an adult and all of this like influencer talk was going on, I wouldn't enjoy it nearly as much, you know? But I'm enjoying it because it's lending to the lore of this book. This book is ridiculous, but to me in the best way. And I don't know if that's because I'm not really into horror or slasher novels, because this is a slasher. I don't know if it's because I don't actually usually read those, that everything is just so entertaining to me, because I'm like, what the heck is happening right now? The whiplash that I'm experiencing at this point in the book is crazy, but I'm enjoying it. This is the first book that we are going to be finishing. We've already started it, but I will continue to read it with you all so that you all can get my live reactions, because that's my favorite part about doing reading vlogs, is you all get to see like how I'm feeling about the book in real time as I'm reading it. The second book we're going to be reading in this vlog is Delicious Monsters by Lizelle Samberry. I have quite a few books from this author. I'm out of breath, sorry. I have quite a few books from this author on my shelf, but I haven't read them, and I really need to get to them. But I wanted to start with this one because it's like perfect for the season. I'm reading this on audio though, and I'm already on chapter 8 or 9, so not very far, but I can tell that I'm really going to enjoy this book. I love the narrators for this, so we'll be listening to this like while we work throughout the week, and I'll take you guys along with my thoughts and opinions on this book as well. Right now though, We are making lunch. I just made some pizza for my boys, so I need to go cut that up for them, give them that with some fruit or something, and then we need to do homeschool. So I'll come back to you guys once I've done all of my like mom duties, and we'll continue reading. Probably, there's no way I die first. We'll probably continue reading this because I really want to know what's happening. Where I left off, someone had just died, and so I need to figure this out. These characters are crazy. The villain in this is ridiculous, and I really want to hop back into it.
My cheek.
Put on your cheek.
I see how cool is it.
You want one slice or two?
I put it in some fried one. Oh!
Very unflattering angle here. We're just gonna try and roll with it. Don't judge me. I'm just a girl. Actually currently at Goodwill. Is this too bright? I need to do a book unhaul, and I wanted to show you guys the books that I'm about to unhaul really quick. I don't know if this Goodwill takes book donations. Hopefully they do. So I'm just gonna donate them here, and if they don't take them, then I'll have to find a free little library. But I'm unhauling so many books, I don't want to like overstuff the free little libraries, which is why I just came to the Goodwill. So I'm going to show you guys what books I'm unhauling. And then we're going to go get our nails done because, look, I can already feel myself getting into like a slump about my physical appearance. If you've been watching my videos, then you know recent developments, things are changing over here. So I'm trying to feel better. And if I look better, I feel better. So we're also going to go get our nails done. And then I need to get some dog food. So those are the errands that I need to run. I'm really also just trying not to take a nap, which is something that I've been doing a lot lately. After I finish like my responsibilities, I think I showed you guys a small clip. Like after I work for the day, we do the whole lunch thing and then we do homeschool. I've been taking naps, and they're not like 30-minute naps. They're like 2-hour naps. And then I wake up and my day is gone and I feel like I wasn't productive. So we're going to try and get our sleeping schedule back on track. We'll see if this works. The first book though, let's keep it bookish. The first book that I'm going to be unhauling is The Perfect Nanny. I don't remember where I got this from. I'm pretty sure I got it from a used bookstore. I also have The Good Son by Jacqueline Mitchard, which is another thriller. All of these books are going to be thrillers because I've just realized I have way too many thrillers on my shelf, and I don't even really like to physically read thrillers. I typically like to listen to them on audio. So Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. And then I think this was like a series or part of the series. Yeah, We Were Liars. So I'm unhauling both of these. The Fear by Natasha Preston. I haven't read any of these books, by the way. So if I'm giving away any bangers, let me know down in the comments below. I mean, they'll be gone by the time you let me know, but just let me know. Blood Sisters by Jane Corey. The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I tried to read this book. I DNF'd it. Didn't like it, and I've just realized that I'm not a fan of Geneva Rose, so giving that away. The Twin, another book by Natasha Preston. The Arrangement by Robin Harding, another thriller. These are all thrillers. Oh, except this one, After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I feel like I heard that this was like a really good book, and I probably really would enjoy it. I'm just know I'm not going to read it anytime soon, so why do I need to take a bookshelf? 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is a book that I purchased when like the hype was really hype, and it even says on like one of the stickers over 2 million sold. The hype on this book was so real, so I just like broke down and got it, and I've just realized like I'm not gonna read this book. I'm never gonna read this book. I'll believe the hype. I'm sure it's a great book. I'm just not gonna read it. The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. I didn't like this book. So many people really enjoyed it. It's a series of short stories. I got to page 95. Taking my little bookmark out. I'm just gonna unhaul it because I don't want it, and hopefully if someone comes to this Goodwill looking for books, they'll be able to find something that they could like. The Midnight Library. This is also a book that I DNF'd. I was enjoying this book. I got about 50% through this one as well. As you can see, the bookmark is in it. I got page 144. I was enjoying this book, and I was enjoying the message of this book. I just think that by page 144 I got the message, you know? So it was like, why are we like, what else do we have to say? I understand what this book is trying to say. I appreciate what the book was trying to say. I thought it said it very well. I was just tired of, you know, by the time I got to 50%, I got it, you know, like I don't need any more. Then I'm also going to unhaul They'll Never Catch Us by Jessica Goodman. All of these books were purchased when I realized that I was like really into thrillers. And I was in a thriller phase where like that was all that I was reading. So I was buying a lot of thrillers, and now I'm realizing I'm just not going to read all of them. Next we have The Golden Couple, Womb City. You guys know how I feel about this book. I love the cover, so I went back and forth on whether or not I was going to unhaul it because I just love the cover. But I hated the book, so unhauling that. Ooh, the girls don't tussle with me on this one, but I'm unhauling Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. I did not like, well, I didn't dislike this book. I just didn't love it. And I'm going to unhaul it because I'm never going to reread it again. I don't recommend it to people. It's a YA romance. I just didn't really like it that much. I didn't dislike it though. I think I gave it like a 3. It was like a very mid book. And I also don't like the cover of this one. I prefer like the yellow cover. I'll put it on the screen. The alternate cover, I just prefer that one. And if I did want to own that book, I would prefer to have that one in paperback. And then finally, On Rotation by Charlene. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her last name, but I'm not going to read this book either. This is also a romance, and I'm just not interested anymore. I think I was interested at first because I was just buying up like all the black romances that I saw, and I'm just not going to read this one. I know I'm not. And if I do decide to read it and I love it, like checking that out on Libby or something, I would prefer to have the paperback. For my romances, I do prefer paperbacks. So these two, and then The Secret Life of Church Ladies, I'm giving to this Goodwill because I want them to have some diverse picks, you know, and I'm trying to help in that area. So we're going to take all of these books inside and unhaul them. Hopefully they take book donations here. We'll see. And then we're going to go get our nails done because they look really bad. We got Sissy some dog food, and now I'm in the Dollar Tree. I'm actually in here to look for some puzzles. One of my boys loves puzzles, and he's always doing puzzles, but that means he also blows through all the puzzles that he does. And obviously Dollar Tree is like the cheapest place to buy new puzzles, and they always have new ones in here, so that's what I'm in here for. Literally a 48-piece puzzle is $1.25. So if you have youngins who like to do puzzles, okay, Dollar Tree. Don't say I didn't put you on. Now I'm gonna check out the books, because y'all know Danny Reed says go to the Dollar Tree. But I really just wanted to show you guys how sad my book section is, and why I personally don't go to the Dollar Tree for books anymore. Every once in a while I'll find like a random good one, but most of the time it's a no. So I'll show you my selection. Yeah, so this is our book section. There's nothing really here. What is this? A pair of slips. This is it. This is all we got. All these books up here are just like cookbooks, which, you know, could be cool if that's what you wanted, but that's not what I'm here for. Books that they always have a lot of that I typically enjoy getting are these little easy learners, like learning to read. Obviously I'm a homeschool mom though, so you know, I'm always looking for these. This is cute. I think I might get it. It says a children's book celebrating diversity and uniqueness like only a s'more can. I love the illustrations, and I think my level 2 reader would enjoy reading this. I think I'm gonna get this, and then we can make s'mores, and it'll be a whole little homeschool activity. So I'll have my level 2 reader read this to his younger brother, and then we can make s'mores together. This is probably like $1.25, so I'm excited to get that. I never find books for myself in here. It's like very rare that I do, but I do always find stuff for our like school situation out of the Dollar Tree. So shout out to Danny, because she always has lots of books in her Dollar Trees, and I never have any. Okay, I just pulled up to Aldi. I was watching Brindy, my girl Brindy. I love her channel. I was watching one of her vlogs, and what the heck is my purse? She mentioned in one of her videos that she found a ghost pizza at Aldi, So I want to run in here since it was nearby. I want to run in here really quick to see if they have one because my boys would absolutely love that. I'm definitely one of those moms who likes to do seasonal stuff just to like make the seasons fun. Like that's how you make it fun. You have to like do unnecessary things like buy ghost shaped pizzas when like a regular circle frozen pizza would do just fine. But it's almost Halloween and we need a ghost shaped pizza, you know? Plus, my boys really appreciate those things, and I have fun doing them, and I won't get to do them again. Well, I guess I will get to do it again now, but I won't get to do it again with them. And I want each child to feel special and have like these special core memories. So as soon as she mentioned that pizza, I was like, oh yeah, gotta do it. They're gonna love it. I don't know, but hopefully they have this ghost shaped pizza in here, and hopefully she said she got it from Aldi's. I may have to go back and watch that vlog to see where she got it from. I don't think I showed you my nails. They turned out pretty cute. I'm pretty sure I showed you the inspo, and then this is how it turned out. I like them. I kept them short. It was just a real basic Frenchie. I hate when they do the Frenchie super thick, so I kept having to ask him to make it thinner, and this was our compromise, I guess. So I like how they turned out. Brown for fall. But let's run in here and see if they have this ghost pizza. They don't have the ghost shaped ones. They have stuffed crust. Lots of other different options, but no ghost pizza. Thank you. Have a good night. Good morning. It's morning for me. I'm not sure what it is for you guys, but it's the next day. I didn't actually come back to you guys after we got back from, I think our last stop was Smoothie King. But I didn't end up reading last night. When I got home, like home things just took over, so I didn't end up reading anything. I'm currently working, but while I'm working, I'm listening to the audiobook for Delicious Monsters. We are on chapter 11. Hopefully it's not too bright in here. I really need to invest in glasses or like some sort of contact prescription, but that's just like tacking things onto my never-ending to-do list. So I can't really tell if I need to turn the brightness down, if this is grainy. Hopefully this is fine. You'll also have to excuse the background. You know that we've moved recently and I have not unpacked anything besides the necessities, and I don't know when I'll get around to that. But yes, we are on chapter 11. So I'm about 20% in and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I ever gave like a proper synopsis because I went into this book blind. I didn't really know what it was about other than there was a haunted house involved. And you guys know this book was on my fall spooky season TBR. So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the audio book. I love the narrators. You get two different narrators. You get two different points of view. And it seems like we're getting like a past point of view and a present point of view, even though the past point of view is still like very much in present society time. Like the timeline is still like current, you know? It's just, I don't know how to explain that. Obviously something has happened. We as the reader don't know yet at 20%. We don't know what has happened, but I guess we're building up to it. So that's the past timeline. It's a young lady who lives in Canada with her mother. They are like lower middle class, living in like a studio apartment, and they have inherited this mansion that's like, you know, I believe it's still in Canada, but it's just like out in like the country, I guess, of Canada. And her mother has been telling her about this place and that they would one day inherit it, and then once they did, you know, their lives would get better. They wouldn't struggle as much financially. So the time has arrived, honey. They finally have inherited this place and they are moving into the house. And apparently there are like undertones of this house being haunted or something being off with this house. The mother knows what's going on because she grew up there. Like she spent all of her summers as a child there, but she's not very open with her child at all about anything, which is so frustrating to read and even more frustrating to live, I'm sure. And the young lady, I believe she's 17, can see dead people. Like she can see ghosts. and her way of coping with it is interesting. I thought it was a very interesting way to cope with it. But I'm really enjoying this book so far. And then the second point of view we're getting is two people who I believe are in college, and they are doing like this YouTube series where it's almost like a podcast type thing, but it's in YouTube form, like video format. And I guess they, investigate like, I don't even want to say true crime. I think it's more like ghost situation, like paranormal stuff. And true crime may be, included in that, but they're reporting on whatever has happened that we as the reader don't know about. So we're slowly figuring out what's happening as it's happening with our first point of view. And then with our second point of view, we're kind of like slowly figuring it out as it's already happened, but they're telling the story. So we're kind of learning with them as well. I'm actually loving the two different points of view equally. And I'm excited to see where this book goes. But I wanted to give you my initial thoughts before we got too far in this book, because the other book that we're reading in this vlog, I'm already pretty far into it and I haven't been reading with you guys. I've kind of just been reading on my own. So I'll try to do better with reading that book with you all in this video. The plans for today, honestly, is to work. Is today Friday? I don't even know what day it is, y'all. Yes, it's Friday. Today's plans is to work. We'll probably have like a light homeschool day where we'll go to the park or something. I'll get them outside. And I think I want to go to the library because I have 2 holds, but I don't know if they're ready. Let me check. I love the fact that my library has an app and I can just like check the app to see. Waiting for copy. 4 holds on 21 copies. 1 hold on 13 copies. So the 2 books that I have on hold currently in my library that I want to get is Sky Full of Elephants and Model Home. I wanted to read both of those, but they're not ready yet. So I hope maybe they'll be ready by the time we go, because the playground that we go to is kind of close to a library. So we'll see. Those are really the only plans. If those holds don't become available, then I guess we'll pick those up later in the week. Because I don't know if people, like when they do weekly vlogs, do they typically do like a whole week, like from Monday to whatever? I just do 7 days. Like I start the vlog whenever I want to start it and then just vlog for 7 days, which is a week's time worth. So even though it's Friday, we started this video on a Thursday. I plan to keep vlogging until Thursday. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, I have to go check my boys' room, make sure they cleaned it before they get on this video game. And then I think I'm gonna make me an iced coffee. We're gonna continue listening to this while I work today, and I'll come give you guys an update, I guess, on how far I get with the book while I'm working today. This coffee looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just happy they don't have a bookstore so that I
I'm not forced to stare at a cover of Mom's face superimposed onto an image of the mansion. The last thing I need is to watch someone pick it up and for me to know that. Soon enough,
Wow, okay, we're about 34% into this book. And obviously I'm still listening to the audio. I'm at a portion of the book where there's a scene happening and it's being described. And the scene that's happening is the cover of the book. Like, you'll have to read the book to understand, but the scene that's happening is the cover of the book. And because I'm listening to it on audio, you can obviously see the cover on your screen. And I just thought that was really cool. Like, I felt like listening to this happen, it was like a high impact, high action scene. Like, listening to that scene happen while looking at the cover of the book was really cool, which is something you wouldn't do if you were physically reading the book, because you'd be reading the book, not looking at the cover. Whoever the artist is that did the cover, this is the inspiration that they used to make this cover, which the cover is stunning, but now it's making me want to do some research on shrikes, which is a type of bird that if you read this book, you'll understand more about. And I think my kids would really enjoy learning about shrikes. So we may have to incorporate that. Just like to randomly learn about that. They're really into science and like learning about animals and all that types of stuff. And shrikes are very interesting birds that I've never heard about, knew nothing about, but now I'm very interested. They're like tiny birds, but they do some serious damage. And the way that they keep their food is interesting. So I think we'll watch some videos, some YouTube videos on those birds, and I think they will get a kick out of that. So I have a little over an hour left of work. I'm going to continue listening for the rest of my shift. Maybe we can get to like 40, maybe even 50% of this book today. We'll see. It's the great thing about reading on audio is you can do other things while you're reading the book. And it helps me to read a lot more books in a month. I've noticed I've stopped listening to audiobooks as much, and that's why the amount of reading that I typically do has gone down significantly. This time last year, my average was about 8 books a month, and 4 of those books were on audio, and then I would read the other 4 either physically, like the physical book, or on Kayante. And I've cut out audiobooks a lot, and I think that's because I've found so many new booktubers to watch that I actually enjoy watching, you know. So I've been watching like booktubers while I'm working instead of actually listening to audiobooks. So I need to find a balance because I still want to watch and support my booktube girlies, but I also need to be listening to audiobooks, you know, while I'm working. So we'll find a balance with that. There's a little update. I just thought it was really cool that the scene that I just finished listening to was literally describing the book cover. And now I'm going to go do some further research on shrike birds. Also, I think the author, I haven't done any research on this author, but I think she's from Canada. The main character, well, this book is taking place in Canada. And the only people that write books that take place in Canada are people that are from Canada. So she has to be from Canada, because I'm like, why else would this book be taking place there if she wasn't from there? So I'm going to do a little research. Something tells me that she's Canadian, and that she may be from the islands of some sort, or may have heritage in the islands, like Caribbean. I just feel like she's from the Caribbean too, or she has like some sort of background in the Caribbean, because the main character has background in the Caribbean and it's taking place in Canada. And it just seems like it's coming from like, you know, first-hand information. Like the way that it goes into depth, I feel like it's coming from like a first-hand experience. Also, one of our main characters have serious dad issues. She has daddy issues. So relatable, first of all. And then the other character has serious mother issues. So, you know, I just think it's really, I always find it really interesting when authors are able to, I don't know this author. I don't know if Babe has father issues. I don't know if she has mother issues. This is literally me reading and talking. So take none of what I'm saying literally. But I always find it interesting how authors are able to incorporate like real life experience into their writing, and you can usually tell when what they're writing about is real life experience that they've had like firsthand, or when they've done a lot of research into something, because it seems so much more relatable. It comes off. When you write about something that you don't really know about, it's quite obvious. And so when you do write about something that you do know about, either by firsthand or through thorough research, it's also very noticeable, because people who have similar experiences can really relate to you. And it really stands out to them. So those are my thoughts right now. Still really loving this book. It is very creepy, very eerie. The perfect book to be reading during the spooky months, during October. Like, because it's super atmospheric. There is a haunted house. There are ghosts. Like I said, one of our main characters sees ghosts. And the other one is like a ghost. I won't say a ghost hunter. She's not necessarily hunting ghosts, but she's looking for like stories about this, and it's just very eerie, but like in such a good way. So I'm enjoying it. I think Lizelle Sandberry is a good storyteller. I'm enjoying it so far, and I will let you guys know in an hour or so what the rest of my thoughts are. Okay, so listen, this book could really be scary, but it's so ridiculous. And like some of the commentary that happens in between, like a very serious action scene where somebody is dying or is about to die, takes the edge off of the scariness so that it's not as scary as it could be. And I don't know if that's the intention of the book, because it's YA, like, is it supposed to be scary in some parts, and then there's like some sort of comedic relief that happens and it's no longer scary, but it makes it kind of funny. Like, it's very hard to take this book seriously, and I think that's the point. But because I don't read horror a lot, I don't know if that's just me and how I'm perceiving this book, or if that's how Lisa Springer intended for it to be read. People are dying, but it's so unserious, and I don't know how to feel about that. This is, I don't know. I'm going to keep reading, obviously. I want to finish this book so I can move on to something else. I am enjoying it. It's just so very YA and so very funny. It feels like I'm watching a horror movie that's meant for like teenagers. And I am enjoying it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But I really do feel like that's the point of this book. It's very ridiculous. Very entertaining, but very ridiculous. And there's like a little small subplot. I don't even know. I wouldn't even call it a subplot. There's like this little immersion of like, this little romance is trying to emerge between two characters. And I'm just like, we don't have time for this. Okay? There is a clown on the loose killing your friends, and you're trying to fall in love. I can't take it serious. I cannot take it seriously. We're currently on chapter 15. Believe we're about halfway through this book. I'm going to continue to chip away at this book today into the night, and hopefully I can finish it by the end of the night. I only have about probably a little over 100 pages left. I can finish this tonight if I really sit down, and I don't really have any plans, so that's what I plan on doing, is finishing this book tonight, and then I'll come back and give you all my star rating and my final thoughts on There's No Way I'd Die First. I need to put the dust jacket back on it. Hey guys, I just pulled up to Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble. This wasn't even in the plans for today. I was just over here by the side of town, And I think I told you guys earlier in this video, I had some books on hold at the library. I need to see what the status is of those. One of the books, Model Home by River Solomon, I've just decided I'm going to buy. I'm going to go ahead and buy it because you guys know I read my first River Solomon book earlier this year, which was The Deep. Absolutely obsessed with that book. It was so good. And I remember, like, after reading that book, I just wanted to talk to someone about that book. It was so good. I was like, I need to discuss this book with someone. You guys were so gracious and allowed me to ramble to you all about this book. But I just really wanted to talk to someone who was like have an active conversation with someone who was smarter than me and who had read that book, so that I can get everything that they got out of the book that I could have possibly missed from that book. I still want to do that. Like, I would just really love to discuss that book with someone, like a scholar of some sort, because I know, even though I got so much out of that book, I know if I reread it, I'll get even more from it. And I know if I talk to someone about it who also read the book, that there's probably a lot that I missed. And I will eventually do a reread of that book. But when I just thought about like how much I loved that book, and I kind of know like the faint premise of what this book is about, I know I'm going to love it just as much. So I'm not even going to play myself. I'm just going to buy the book so that I can read it, because I want to read it next. I actually have already finished. I guess let's do an update. I've already finished No Way I Die First. I don't know what I'm going to give that book yet. I'll figure it out by the end of this video, but such a YA horror, absolutely ridiculous, but in the best way. I think it was, you know, there's a word that people use, and I have been trying for the longest to figure out what the hell does this word mean. And I think this book has finally shown me what it means when people say something is camp or something is like really campy. I was looking at reviews for this book because I was trying to figure out, what are other people thinking about this book? And someone called it campy in their review. And I was like, that makes sense now. I think now I understand what that word means. It was very ridiculous. But if you're looking for like a really ridiculous horror novel that's actually kind of funny because it's so ridiculous, you're going to enjoy this. This book was so ridiculous. The things that was happening in it were absolutely not realistic in the least bit, but very ridiculous to the point where it was comical. So I really enjoyed it. I was thoroughly entertained. There were some scenes in there where I'm just like, what the heck am I reading? But I can't stop reading it. So I don't really know what I'm going to give it. If you're looking for a very unserious YA, because it's very YA, if you're looking for a very unserious YA horror novel that's going to like help with the Halloween vibes, but not in a serious way. Like, you're not going to be afraid. You're not going to be scared. And this is coming from a certified scaredy cat, okay? This is a horror, and I was not afraid. The whole time I was just like, be for real. Be so for real. If you're looking for that, then you're really going to enjoy that book. So I'll figure out what the star rating is. But we're going to go ahead and go inside. My goal is to only get that one book. We'll take a look around because I haven't been in a bookstore in a while. I haven't been in the mood to buy books in a while. I'm really not in the mood to buy books today, but I want that particular book. So we'll go in today and see what they got, and I'll show you some books. We'll, do the whole little bookish montage thing, but I'm really hoping to only walk out of here with one book. And the way I'm not in the mood to spend money lets me know I'm probably just going to walk out of here with that one book. So let's go. we're back in the car. We made it out. We did get more than one book though. We did get the book that we actually came for, which was Model Home by River Solomon. I do plan on making this like my next read after I complete. Now I'm down to one book that I'm currently reading. But after I complete the book that I'm currently reading, I want this to be my very next pick. And then I also got The Good House by Tanana Reeve Dew. You guys know my favorite book of the year so far has been The Reformatory. So I really want to get into more of her books. I want to own more of her books. I don't know when I'll read this one, but I had to get it. When I saw it, I was like, get it. So I got it. And then last we got a short story collection, Some Soul to Keep by J. California Cooper. I picked this book up because one of my favorite booktubers loves J. California Cooper. She always talks about how much she really enjoys her books and her writing style and her dialogue. I believe she really likes her dialogue as well. But I'm drawing a blank. I haven't forgotten. It's very hard for me to think straight. My girl Lex from Lex Reads loves her some J. California Cooper. So, I just want to check it out. She comes highly recommended by one of my favorite booktubers. So when I saw it and I recognized the author's name and yada, 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 so I picked it up. I was influenced by that one. Now I guess I'm about to head home. That was a very impromptu bookstore vlog. I got a few clips inside, but not a lot. I wasn't really in there to shop. I was in there to get this book and I just walked out with more books. But it's been a while since I purchased books. And before I got here, I actually returned something to Walmart that was like $50. So technically I only spent $20 on books today because girl math determines that I had to return something. I got money back. You know what I'm saying? So it worked out perfectly. So that was perfect actually. So I'm headed home now. I'll see you guys later. I keep forgetting that my life is in shambles. No, it's not in shambles. We're not going to speak that over our lives. My life is in transition right now, okay? And I just turned the camera on and I don't see these boxes, okay? I only see these boxes when I turn the camera on. Any other time, I don't see them. They're not there. I'm not ready to address them yet, okay? So you won't address them either. It has literally been a few days since that last clip. It's been an entire weekend. I had meant to get this vlog up on this past Sunday, but I had a pretty busy weekend. I ended up going to a conference. It was the Acts 242 conference. If you're familiar with Megan Ashley, it was the conference that she put on with Jackie Hill Perry. I enjoyed myself thoroughly at that conference. I had such a good time. I came back feeling so refreshed and just feeling like I knew exactly what I needed to be doing. So I am really glad that I took a little break. I went with my best friend Darian. It was also really nice to just get away with my best friend. We haven't really been able to get together and hang out outside of our kids for a long time, so that was much needed. The catch-up session was very much needed. So I'm glad that I went, but I forgot that I was vlogging, and then Sunday rolled around and I realized I never finished the vlog. We did finish the books though, guys. We finished Delicious Monsters by Lizelle Stanberry. I ended up giving this book a 4.5. It was so close to a 5-star for me. I can't even really tell you what makes it or what kept it from being a 5-star besides just the feeling of the book. When I give a book a 5-star, all the components are there, but more than anything, the way I feel about the book is 5-star. And this just didn't give me 5-star feelings. But the book overall was really, really good. There are this is YA. So I would say the horrific elements weren't truly horrifying, but they were very eerie, very spooky, very atmospheric. The ghosts and the haunted house. I love the fact that the house in this book was almost like its own character. It had its own feelings, emotions, and system with how it worked. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Really also enjoyed how this book explores familial relationships, the mother-daughter relationship. There were lots of toxic mother-daughter relationships and dynamics going on in this book. Also friendships and even toxic sister relationships. So I think it did a really good job. It also faintly hinted at toxic father-daughter relationships. Also enjoyed the plant aspect of it. I love plants, and I loved the discussion about plants and how our main character Lily, I believe her name was Lily, right? Or was it Daisy? Daisy, I know it's a flower. Daisy really loves plants, and I love why Daisy loves plants because it's partially the reason that I love plants. That part was just really relatable to me. But I love how the author like intertwined her love for plants into the storyline or the plot of this book. This was really good. I'm not really sure if the synopsis I gave tells what it's about, tells you like in an adequate way so that you have a good idea of what you're going into when you go into this book. I myself did not have a good idea of what I was going into when I opened the book. I just knew it was about a haunted house, and I feel like you should go into it that way. Like go into it almost blind. Just know it's about a haunted house. There are ghosts involved. There are some familiar relationships being explored, and that's really all you need to know. Like just go into it knowing that, and you'll be pleasantly surprised by all of the things that you uncover in this book. I loved it. 4.5 stars. Highly recommend if you haven't picked this one up that you should. The reading experience on audio, because I did read this on audio, was phenomenal. It wasn't like overly done. There's not like an overproduced audiobook. There's nothing that like really makes it stand out. I just really like the narrators for the book, and I think they did a really good job with the voices. So loved this and my reading experience on audio. Then we have There's No Way I Die First by Lisa Springer. I finally put the dust jacket back on this book. I think I'm gonna settle on a 4-star. I know I told you guys I could not figure out what I wanted to give this book, and I've decided I'm going to give this book a 4-star. This is a very unserious, absurd thriller, and I believe that's what it's meant to be. And I think for the purpose that this book set out to accomplish that purpose, it is very over the top, it is very absurd, it's very campy, and I really enjoyed my time with it. This is just a good time horror novel. This is not supposed, there's no like truly deeper meanings. It is YA as well, so I guess for like a young adult there could be some you know things that they could uncover, but as an adult there's really nothing that you're going to learn from this book. It's just very entertaining, and I had a good time with it. So I'm going to give it 4 stars because I had a really good time with it. And I also recommend, as someone who is a certified scaredy cat, I think because this book was extremely unserious, it wasn't scary to me. It wasn't even really eerie to me. I just found it very funny. I would recommend even to scaredy cats. Now, however, I know that there are some people who are just like, no. Like there is a deranged clown involved, and he shows up to a birthday party. No, I'm sorry, it's not a birthday party, it's just a party. He shows up to a Halloween party and he's killing the people who were at the party. So I know like even some people who are just scaredy cats are like, nah, that's not my judge. But if you're like on the edge and you think you can handle it, this is very funny. It's not at all like going to give you nightmares, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This book is not going to give you nightmares. You will think about this book afterwards, but it's only going to be the thoughts of like how absolutely over the top. And I'm really trying not to use a very specific word that I keep using to describe this book. We're going to say this book is unhinged. You're going to be thinking about all of the unhinged activity that took place in this book, and that's what you're going to remember, not the scariness of it. So those were the 2 books that we read in this weekly vlog. Hopefully you guys stuck around to the end. I honestly don't even know how long this vlog is going to be, but I'm going to try and get it up this coming Sunday. Thank you so much if you stuck around to the end. If you did, first of all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. Please do that for me, but also leave this emoji to let me know that you stayed around until the very end. I really appreciate when you all leave those comments. And let me know if you read any of these books and what you thought about them. Like, what were your star ratings? And especially There's No Way I Die First. I think I'm really interested in how other people felt about that book. It's probably not going to change how I felt about it, but I would really like to know how other people felt about it. So if you read that book, let me know what you thought. And I will see you guys in my next video.